Hello, my dearest friends. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Diana and the Book Hunt. Today, we're going to be getting a bit retrospective. We're going to be taking a look at my list of 25 books that I had wanted to read in 2025. So I made this list about a year ago. I put it up on my channel with books that at the time I was genuinely really excited about getting to in the new year. And I want to go back to that list and see, first of all, which books I really did pick up and finish, what my thoughts were on those. And then which books I'm definitely crossing off of that list and which books I am taking with me as my 2026 kind of priority TBR because I didn't get to them in the past year. So I've got a few books that I'm like, what was I thinking? Putting these books on here, and a couple that I'm just really genuinely happy that I did manage to pick up in the previous year because they did end up to be either favorites or at least ones that I'm just happy that I got to pick them up finally. So I've got 25 books that I'm going to run over with you. One of the books that I had put on my list, so I'm starting off with a banger here, so one that I'm definitely never picking up in the future, is Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. So I am, on the one hand, proud to say I've never read a Sophie Lark book in the past. Before last year, I found that I was kind of behind on Sophie Lark because everyone had picked up her Mafia series and everything. And I wanted to finally give her a shot, but then the problematic author theme arose with her name behind it. And I was like, okay, so there was a reason that I never read this author and I'm never going to pick her up in the future either. So if you're unfamiliar with Sophie Lark, the Sophie Lark drama, she has written some very questionable things in her books that relate to kind of being insensitive about certain minorities, and also turns out that she may be leaning in a certain direction politically that just is not very kind to very many people, let me put it like that. So essentially, she got cancelled, and I'm not sorry I haven't read any of her books at this time, and I've just taken off her books off of my TBR, so I'm not picking her up in the future. Now, moving on to some positive things. I did pick up book number 2, which was Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I actually binge read all 3 books that are out within this series, and I'm very much looking forward to book 4 in 2026. So I'm happy that this book I did manage to read last year. I have been hyping this series up ever since I read it. I've talked about it quite a lot on my channel, so I'm not going to go into too much details about this one. But yeah, I was obsessed. I was mildly saying it obsessed. So I'm very much looking forward to the next book. And then book number 3 on the list is The Wraith King by Juliet Cross. I've not yet read anything by Juliet Cross, and I think that Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life was hyping this book up, and I now have it available through Storytel, which I'm very excited about because I now have the audiobook available to me, so I'm definitely picking this book up in 2026. It's a romantasy, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It has a gorgeous cover. I don't want to know anything more about the synopsis. I do know that Crystal loved it, so it's just safe to say that I probably will as well. So this one is on my TBR for the new year. Now, the next book is The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. So I did read this book in 2025, but to be quite honest, out of all of the romantasy books that I read, it wasn't the most exciting or memorable one, though I do have to say this is book 1 within this series, and I've heard that the series gets better and better with the next books on, so I maybe need to continue on with the series to really find the appreciation for this series that it deserves. Book 1 was just an all right read, and I don't know, I bought the physical copy of it way back when, thinking that I'm really going to love this one. But yeah, tell me if you've read this series. Should I continue on? Does it get any better? Should I really be invested in the series? Because right now, I think I'm all right with sticking to book 1. But if you tell me that it's really good moving on, then I may consider picking up book 2 to see how it goes. So, and the next one up is Pestilence by Laura Thalassa. I've had Laura Thalassa on my TBR for such a long time. I really wanted to pick something up by this author in 2025, and I'm happy that at the tail end of the year, I managed to read Pestilence. I read the graphic audio for this one. It's available through Storytel. I did enjoy it. I do have to say I wasn't wowed by it, but I do get the appeal, especially the graphic audios are just greatly produced. So I will definitely continue on with the series to see how I'm going to enjoy the other books. But Laura Thalassa has other books outside of this series that I'm also very intrigued by. So this was definitely not my first, or at least my only book by this author that I'm going to pick up. It was my first. So in 2026, I may either continue on with the series or look up all the other books that I have available through Storytel by this author to pick up another one by them. So next up, we've got a book that I didn't pick up. Shame on me, because I've been talking about picking up this book for too many months and years, and I don't know how long this book has been out. It's For the Fans by Nyla K. This is a male stepbrothers romance, and I have to say I have the audiobook for this one, but it's just so long. I know that it's a very long indie book. I think it's like 600-700 pages of a contemporary romance, which kind of intimidates me. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about this one. It's very taboo, very spicy, and I just need to get on with it. Now that heated rivalry has become such a thing, I think everyone will gravitate more towards male romances in the new year. So I just need to kind of hop on the hype trend and read this one this year. So I have it on my TBR for 2026. If by 2027 I haven't read this book, you can just cross the screen and slap me. Because it's been way too long that I've been promising to read this book, and I really need to get on it. So the next one is King of Wrath by Anna Huang. I'm happy that I finally finished this book and I can continue on in the series. I'm definitely picking up King of Bride next. I really enjoyed King of Wrath. I gave it 4 stars. It's a mafia marriage of convenience romance. I love the heroine, I love the hero, I love the setting, and Anna Huang does such a brilliant job of writing kind of like almost insufferable billionaires, but make them insufferable in a way that you kind of can ignore it. You can kind of root for them because they're so obsessed with their heroines. And yeah, I'm definitely continuing on with the Kings of Sin series. Now, what do we have next? Oh, I have a book that I started. I got to like the 40% mark. I think it was for some kind of a reading vlog that I was supposed to do that I think I never finished. And I just didn't finish this book. And I think that Beccie from Bex Reads were talking about DNFing books and everything, and I was just in the middle of this one, and I was telling her how I have such a difficult time with DNFing books because I just struggle with myself. I find it so disrespectful that I've gotten to a certain point in a book and I haven't given it a fair shot or something. I don't know what I was telling her, but I was just telling her it was difficult for me to DNF books. And she was like, just do it. Just DNF the damn book. You're like so struggling with it and you've been having such a horrible time with this book. Just put it down already, you know? And I was like, you know, I should really do that. So I DNF this book, and I've been talking about it without telling you which one it is. It's called A Man's World by Grace Newman. It's about a female Formula One driver. So that was really the appeal for me. I definitely love sports romances, and I definitely always am on the lookout for like the sports romances that are not ordinary. You know, I'm looking for some kind of a spin on the sports romance genre, whether it be a female in a male-dominated world or a kind of sport that is not very much represented in the romance community. Those are the kinds of romances that really would excite me to pick them up. So I was really hoping, and I was looking forward to this one, but it just didn't work out too well for me. Now, the next one I put on this list, it's called Plie by Jane Washington. And I saw the cover and I saw a couple of like the tropes or like the buzzwords about this book, and I was like, oh, this sounds intriguing. It's actually one that centers on a dance academy, and it has like a reality TV aspect to it. And what was it? I think it's a why choose or like an Omegaverse kind of a situation. And that is where it lost me essentially, because I think I picked it up. I read like 3 chapters off of it and I was just so confused because I've not read a lot, or actually, I don't know if I've read any Omegaverse romances. So I'm really not familiar with the dynamics within such a romance. And I saw just recently that actually Jess from Honest Fiction read this one and she was obsessed with it. So now I don't know whether I should just try to give it another shot, because she really, really hyped it up. And I was like, huh, did I miss the mark with this one by DNFing it? And I don't know. I may need to look into it because it is available through Kindle Unlimited. So I may try it out again. I don't know, but I DNF'd it after 3 chapters. So I'm kind of hesitant about picking it up again, about putting it on my TBR for 2026. It's like a potential, let's put it like a potential book on my TBR. Next up, we've got Learn Your Lesson by Candy Steiner. I've not really read any Candy Steiner books in the past couple of years, and I really last year wanted to pick up one of her books that is outside of the series that I'm familiar with. This is one of her sports romances, and it gave all of the vibes that I would typically like. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was supposed to be like a road trip romance, and I really love road trip romances, but I just never really got to it. And I'm very hesitant about putting it on my TBR for 2026 because I don't know, I just have so many books that I have prioritized already for this year. I may try it out if I'm in the mood for it, but I don't want to put it on a fixed TBR because I don't think I will finish it, knowing myself. If I do, I'm going to be very proud with myself. But if I don't, I just want to put too much pressure on myself for picking up books that I'm not sure I'm going to finish, to be honest. So the next one, I'm very happy to say that I did finish. It's Do Me a Favor by Kathy Yardley. I love Kathy Yardley because she writes books with characters who are not in their 20s or 30s or even 40s most of the time. So she writes books with characters who are like in their 50s and who have had a certain set of things happen in their life and issues that they're dealing with and starting over and things like that. And I'm really happy that I picked this book up because I really, really did enjoy it. It deals with a heroine who has recently lost her husband. She has inherited this house on this island, like I think it's like a Martha's Vineyard kind of an island. And she has a romance with a handyman who helps her fix up the house. I really, really enjoyed this one, so I'm very happy that I picked it up. And then I've got a couple of books that I didn't get to, but I'm definitely taking to my 2026 TBR, because one of them, the first one being His Tesoro by Emilia Rossi. This one is a mafia romance that I recently got uploaded into my Storytel. So I had it through Kindle Unlimited, I think, but now that I have the audiobook for it, I am for sure picking it up. So I will definitely finish it in 2026. I think it has some kind of a representation for, I'm not sure if the heroine or the hero is in a wheelchair. I'm not sure, but it had some kind of a disability rep that I got very intrigued by when I heard. I think it was Caitlin from the Love Librarian talked about this book, and it really got me intrigued. So I definitely want to pick this book up in 2026. Another one that I definitely want to pick up in the new year is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. This is a high fantasy book. Actually, it's a paranormal fantasy book. And I know that, again, Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life loves this one. I had heard her talking about this series on one of her vlogs, and it really got me intrigued by the premise. So I have the audiobook for this one. I need to get on it. I just haven't had the mood strike for this specific one, but I just need to get to it. Now, next up, we've got Hexed by Emily McIntyre. Emily McIntyre is very similar for me, the situation with picking her books up like Candy Steiner, because she has so many books. And at a certain point, I know that you can read them as standalones. That's why I picked this one specifically off of her series, because it sounded like the one that I really want to read. But I just never had the mood strike to pick this one up. I don't know why. And I think the audiobook is like a 15 or 16-hour audiobook for this one, which kind of always makes me think about, contemporary, so long, why, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm going to put it as a tentative for 2026. I may pick it up at a certain point, but let's wait out and see. Next up, we've got another book, one of those that if I don't finish in 2026, I am giving you permission to slap me. It's The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang. I have the audiobook for this one. I have the physical copy of this one. So why am I not picking it up, you may ask? I don't know. I actually thought, I'm going to start the year off by reading this book. So I started on the audiobook. I read, I think, like 4 chapters of it because I was like, I want to start with a 5-star read the new year. But at the same time, there are so many characters and, they are foreign to me in terms of names. So he kind of started to get lost in who is who and was not very focused on the plot. So I think I need to like immersively read this one. So I need to read the audiobook and the physical book together, at least for the first couple of chapters until I get used to who is who. And then we'll wait out and see. But I definitely want to finish this book because I just feel it in my bones that this is going to be an all-time favorite. So I need to finish this book this year. And then another book that I have on my TBR for the new year is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. I've read the previous book within the Nyaxia world, so I just need to continue on with the series. I just haven't felt compelled to pick up this book, even though I do have the audiobook for it. It's because I just didn't love book 3 as much as I loved book 1 and 2, and that's why I've kind of been putting it off. But you never know, it may surprise me, so I definitely want to continue on with the series, and I'm definitely picking it up in the new year. Now, in 2025, I had told myself I want to try out different genres. I want to try like historical fiction books. I did read a few of those, but I failed to read the biggest one on my list, which is The Women by Kristen Hanna. And I think I just didn't do it because I know it's an emotional and emotionally packed kind of a read. And I failed. I failed. But in 2026, we're going to give it a shot. So I'm going to pick this book up in 2026 for sure. And then the next book on my list for 2025 was Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I did pick up not only Wild Love, but also Wild Eyes. So I'm very proud of myself that I actually finished 2 books within the series and not just one. And in 2026, I'm actually vowing that I'm going to continue on with the series because I really enjoyed book 1 and 2. So I'm going to pick up Wild Side, which is the next book. I actually have the physical copy of it, so I don't have any excuses. I just need to pick it up. And if I love it, in 2026, I may actually finish this series and also read Wild Card. But let's not be too ambitious. Knowing myself, I just need to kind of motivate myself to go one at a time and see how that goes. Now, the next book that I put on my list is Playbook by Rebecca Genshak. The problem that I have with Rebecca Genshak is that her books got taken off from Storytel because there was this kind of issue between Storytel and Simon & Schuster. So they took off a lot of the backlist books that they had with this publisher, and Playbook is no longer available to me through audiobook. I do have it through Kindle Unlimited, but I've had such a bad time, I don't know how to explain. I've had such little time to invest in actually physically reading books that whenever I am choosing to pick up physical books, it's ones that I just am completely obsessed with and really want to get to, and I don't have the audiobook for them. And Playbook, while I do think I'm going to enjoy it, it's just going to be a fun time. It's not one that I'm possibly going to be obsessed with. So I kind of put it off and put it off and put it off and didn't get to it in 2025. And if I'm going to get to it in 2026, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I do enjoy Rebecca Jenshak's books. And actually, what is peculiar is that at the start of this year, I did see that her latest, like her new young adult romance books got uploaded into Storytel, but I'm not in the mood for young adult, to be quite honest. So I don't know if I'm going to pick those up either. Now, the next one on my list that I put last year on my list is Sincerely Your Inconvenient Wife by Julia Wolf. I didn't read this one, but I did read another Julia Wolf book that I don't know the title of anymore, but I really did enjoy that one. So I think I'm just going to pick up another book by this author, whatever I have available through Storytel, I'm going to listen to in the new year because I really did enjoy the first book that I read by them. So I am going to read more Julia Wolf in 2026. The next one, Soul Eater by Lily Mayne. I don't know what I was thinking with this book. I mean, I know it was a popular book, and I know that I have the audiobook for it, and I think it's a dark romance, and I just probably wanted to diversify my list of books. But I honestly, after having put this book on my list, I haven't thought about this book until today. So I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up in 2026 because it hasn't really popped up in my mind thinking, oh, I really need to get to this book, So if you tell me that it's really, really good, I'm going to prioritize it. But for now, I'm just leaving it off the list. Next up, we've got Maestro by Auden Dar. I remember way back when Cheyenne, she used to have this booktube channel called That Tolbert Girl. She was the first person who read this book and was like, I'm obsessed. It's a slow burn and it's this and it's that, and features this classically trained musician and everything. It just ticked off all the boxes for me. I was like, I need to read this book, and I've been having it on my TBR since then. And now I actually have the audiobook for it through Storytel, but the problem is the audiobook for contemporary romance is like 19 hours. And I'm like, I need to be in the mood for such a romance. But I also recently saw that Jess from Peace Love Books read it and was obsessed with it as well. So I just need to get to it, I think. So I do want to put it on my 2026 list to kind of motivate myself to get to it because it might be a favorite. It might be a favorite. It does tick all of the boxes when it comes to the tropes for me. So I think I will enjoy this one. The next one is Endgame by Indy Valentine. Talking about Cheyenne, Cheyenne is actually the person behind Indy Valentine. She is the author of this series. At the time, she was a debut author. Now she has, I think, 3 books out that are within this series, 2 or 3. And then she has another series that she has started as well. And I'm very, very proud of her that she has come out with so many books in such a little time and that she is making her author dreams come true. I do have to be honest, I started this book and I got to the 60% mark of it. But like I told you, I've had a struggle with physically reading. So I kind of left it at that and I never picked it up again. So I just need to finish it. So it's on my soft DNF list. I still need to finish it because I've already invested all of this time and I just want to definitely give it a rating once I finish it because it was her debut and I definitely want to support her in her journey. But yeah, this I need to finish. The one to last book on my list is Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. I did pick up this book. I enjoyed it, though I have to say that it wasn't very memorable for me because if you ask me what the book was about this time, I have very little recollection. Book 2 is coming out in 2026, I think. So I may watch, if someone has like a synopsis kind of a review, I may watch that one and then try book 2 and see how I'm going to refresh my memory on what happened. But I'm happy that I managed to finish this one last year. The last book on my list, I had put either Manacled or Alchemized, because I downloaded a copy of Manacled before it went offline, so I have it available to me. And I also have Alchemized. I have the physical copy and also the audiobook for it. I didn't get to it in 2025. I just want to be in the mood for being destroyed. So at a certain point in this year, I'm definitely picking up Alchemized because I have it available to me in both the formats. And I'm going to take it to my TBR of 2026 as a priority read. So what do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 11 books from the last year that I definitely want to consider taking with me into the new year, and let's see how I'm going to do. So I think this is a safe bet to say that it's better to have about 10 books, 10, 11 in my case, to have on my TBR for the year, because it's doable. Like if I don't finish half of the 10 books that I have, then I'm really doing a bad job, you know? But if I finish most of them, then I'll feel a sense of accomplishment. Last year, I put 25 books on my list. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books that I finished out of 25. That just doesn't make me feel too good. I did DNF like 3 books, but still like 10 out of 25, that's just not good. So from now on, I just need to focus on not putting more than 10 books on a TBR because it's just not working out very well. So these are the books that I had on my last year's beginning of the year TBR, and now you know which books I'm going to prioritize that are like backlist books that I definitely want to read in the new year. Please let me know what you think of this list, what you think of all these books that I just recently discussed, and tell me what you're planning on reading in the new year as well. I hope to see you in the next one. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Happy reading. Take care and bye-bye.